Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Brainwashed to be Broke, the show where we go deep into those patterns and stories that we've been taught since our young age, since we've been born, and what is truly possible. Because I don't believe that people are lacking some type of talent or so. They are stuck because they been bought into the type of script that keeps them stuck, uninformed, and easy to control. Today, we are here with another amazing guest. I'm super, super pumped to have him here. His name is Rob Thomas. He is a Christian. He is running a business helping insurance agents with their businesses because he had his breakdown a year ago, you said, where lots of things start changing and so on. And he had his big, massive realization, but he was already in a business for a couple of years or maybe even decade. So, without further ado, I'm super pumped to have him here. And well, let's start with the first question, and that is who you are, Rob, and how did you get into entrepreneurship?
Yeah. Well, so my first of all, I appreciate you having me on this. I actually been really excited about being on here when I kind of looked up and saw some of the guests that you've had in the past. Pretty cool. I feel pretty honored to be here. So thanks for
Thank you.
having me. So
Awesome. Absolutely.
yeah, uh, believer in Christ. My faith is super important to me. I think that as an entrepreneur, if you don't have faith as a cornerstone, it becomes just that much harder. That it really is an important piece that you need to have because as an entrepreneur, it's one of the hardest journeys you'll ever take. It's never going to be easy, and you will experience more lows than highs a lot of times, right?
Yep.
And that's not to discourage anyone because it's also the most rewarding challenge you can take on. And it's truly the place where I believe freedom is created, right? So for me, my entrepreneur journey started, um, in 2004, and it started in the insurance world. And look, nobody in the history of anywhere ever said, I want to sell insurance when I grow up. Like nobody has ever said that. But it's in the industry, it's one of the greatest industries I've ever seen. The reason why is every day we get to help people protect the things that are most important to them. On their worst day, we're the one person showing up that has a way to help make their world right again. And when we do our jobs the right way, we actually get paid better than doctors to do our jobs. So that's a pretty good 3 point criteria. But for me, it was just the entry point to understanding business building and entrepreneurship. And it wasn't just how do I sell an insurance policy, but how do I actually build a business? And then how do I lead other people to build their businesses and those kinds of things. And so over the years, I've kind of been through the journey of insurance and entrepreneurship. I have started more businesses that have failed than I've succeeded in, but I'm still standing. And uh,
Welcome in
for
entrepreneurship, right?
yeah, it is. It is. But like you alluded to, about a year ago, we had I'd started Water Rock Financial, my current company, um, in 2001. I sold my insurance agency, was going to go into this. We were actually going to build what was
Ooh,
called
so you actually build an insurance agency
yeah,
since oh my gosh, okay, that's pretty cool. Well,
yeah.
how did you get okay? Because like you first of all, what you said about the insurance agency, like like insurance industry, lots of people talking like this is the greatest market where you can like massive opportunities and so on. I didn't really get why because I'm not in that space at all, right?
Right.
I just hearing things that people are saying, right? So now like when you actually describe it that like based on, that you are able to like help people this type of way, this is pretty interesting to hear.
Yeah.
And so like even prior to that, like why you decided to go for like insurance? What was the true reason for you when you started like even like I don't know, have you been employed actually? Like have you been ever employed in your life or have you just like
Oh yeah.
after your
Yeah.
school? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But at this point in time, I make a bad employee because I've been
Mm.
been business owner too long, right? So
Yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
take that hat off.
Yeah.
But but here I I started in 2004, and I was an employee of a company doing land surveying. So I was outside doing, and it was grunt work. I mean, I
Hmm.
didn't have a degree, especially in surveying. I knew how to do it. I'd done it a little bit, but I was outside doing that all the time, making, not minimum wage, but not making great wages
Yep.
by any stretch. And I
Yep.
literally got a phone call. And the person on the other end said, "You don't know me, but your name came across my desk as somebody who might be good at what we do, and I'd love to meet with you." Well, great. What do you do? Well, we sell insurance. This is the short version. In my mind, I went, that is the last thing I want to be as an insurance agent.
Mm.
But I thought, I don't have any other options. Like, where am I going to go? There wasn't somebody there standing there saying, be an entrepreneur, venture
Yep.
out. I had no idea how to even remotely start something like that. And
Yep.
so my brainwashed at the time was get a job, get a paycheck, try and
Yep.
save some money, hope to retire. That
I,
was the game plan.
I
Okay.
believe there is a bunch of people who can relate to
Yeah.
that.
Because that's no one taught me anything different. And
Yeah.
and not only that, but no one pushed me to go to college. So I didn't have a college degree. Now I
Yeah.
feel like I'm behind the
Bro,
game.
I finished high school, literally, and I've never done anything about what they taught me like since my early stages, like nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe a language, and that even not even that, because now I'm talking to you in English language. I've never been really like studying English there because the
Yeah.
teacher was German, half, I don't know, whatever. It was like they couldn't speak even properly. So when I get into England, total down, like I didn't know what it was like. Well, like that was different. I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
I'm dying here.
So you get it, feeling that like I'm behind everything. I don't,
Yeah,
like it's not that you're disadvantaged, but you're playing with not a full hand.
yeah,
Like you're really trying to catch up, and that's where I was at. I mean, I had a wife and three kids, and we were just trying to get by.
yeah.
And as a dad, as a husband, as a man, when you're struggling to provide and do better and make more, it's hard. It weighs on you.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task, and I didn't have a game plan for how to get out of that
Mm,
situation. And I think
mm,
that's where a lot of that brainwashed mindset comes in, is that people don't know how to make a game plan. They don't know how
mm.
to, you know, they kind of feel like, well, I don't know this, so I'm not going to do it. Well,
Yep,
I didn't know insurance or financial services until that phone call.
yep.
And I remember when I went in for the interview, and I'm listening to this guy talk about it. And I thought, you mean to tell me I can make doctor money? I can control my own time. I can, like, why wouldn't I want to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was, but no one told me how hard it was going to be.
Hmm.
So, and this was especially in life insurance. So that's where I started, was in the life insurance side of things. Life insurance industry has a 90% failure rate right now, maybe even higher.
Ooh.
So I think it's closer to 98% fail within
Yep.
the first 2 years, and
Do you know why is it actually?
75% fail within the first 3 months.
Do you know why is it actually? What is the reason to it?
Yeah, that's what's kind of brought me to why I do the coaching and what the work that I do, right?
Yep.
Because it is it's really almost like an epidemic. They get in, there's no real, it's not even just training, because the carriers provide training. It's not
Yep.
product knowledge, it's not even sales knowledge. It ultimately comes down to, I'm an entrepreneur, how do I build a business? Right? And so
Yep.
agents struggle in the beginning with two things: seeing enough people and saying the right things. Those
Yep.
become systems and processes that they can learn, but no one teaches
So
them that.
acquisition and sales, basically, they are struggling big
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly. And so the 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 cure that the industry is throwing at them is, well, buy leads. So
Yep.
they buy a lot of, and leads are just bad in the insurance
Mm.
space. The only people that shop for life insurance are people that have just gotten diagnosed and can't get insurance, or
Yep.
they're 65 years old and they go, I should have done this a long time ago.
Hmm.
And they're on Social Security trying to get by, and they want to leave a little something. They don't have the resources for it.
Hmm.
So an agent will sell a policy to them, and 3 months later, that policy back charges. 60% of policies with new agents back charge, which means now they owe money to the company. I got on a phone call with an agent one day, and we were having this exact conversation, and his arrogance and hubris was, well, I just spent $55,000 on leads. He
Hmm.
went $55,000 in credit card debt to buy leads.
Crazy. Wow.
And my guess is if I could find him again, I would bet you $1,000 or more. He's not in the industry. He's gone.
Yeah.
And he's in debt. I've met people that are just deeply in debt trying to do this because they jump into the hamster wheel and it just and they can't keep up.
Where did he get it from, like, when it comes to buying leads? Like, okay, like, there are different ways how you can, like, if you would be running ads, for example, like, in this world, we are living in direct response marketing. So, like, you should be, like, I don't know, those people, there is not enough education. That's what you're trying to say? Like, there is not enough
Yeah.
education about what is like, what is working at this, like, these days and so on. Because, like, it seems to me like that those people are trying to do something what was working maybe like 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
That's exactly what they're doing. And that's the problem is that, they don't understand. So, and they don't feel like they have the know-how to do, a lot of them will go, oh, I've posted ads on Facebook and I've done this and I didn't get anything. Well, yeah,
yeah,
probably because you didn't have a real system and process to do it.
yeah,
You're just throwing
that's
stuff
it.
up there. But secondly, then they take the easy route and there are these lead generation companies out there that just sell you
Yep.
leads. They'll sell them to you as exclusive leads. So if I buy it, I'm supposed to be the only agent. And by the time I call it, I'm the sixth agent to call it,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
right? So they're just reselling the leads.
Yep.
And those leads, those exclusive leads are about $100 a pop.
That's crazy. Wow. Holy smokes. And we are complaining about running Facebook ads. That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. And you're paying $100 for an exclusive lead that's been called by six other agents already, right? And then the lead isn't even really qualified because they're 65 years old, and they you're not going to get policy for them is going to cost $500-600 a month, and they've
Yeah,
got $1,200 a month in Social Security,
that's insane.
right?
Huh.
So this is the hamster wheel, and the
Mm,
IMO space has really driven this into a bad place. So, I started my company with the intent of I want to change the industry.
mhm.
Problem is, I didn't know how to change it. I thought I knew how, but I was trying to build from the inside out, and I wanted to be the king of the space, right? I wanted to be the
Yep.
category king, but when you're competing against private equity, you just can't, and so they start throwing out comp plans and all different kinds of things, and it's just it. You've heard the term red ocean, blue ocean.
Yes, of course.
Okay, well, life insurance and insurance space is the red ocean. It is the poster
Yes.
child of red
Yep.
ocean.
Yep.
So, what I learned over the last 4 or 5 years is really not just how red that ocean is, but what a real blue ocean looks like in this space, and
Yep.
and really what needs to transform. And part of that transformation was I had to go through the transformation. I couldn't just look at it and go, "Man, this industry needs to change," and I think I know how to do that. I actually had to go through the transformation. I had to go through the pain that I went through so that I could speak at an even greater level. It wasn't just about having the experience of being an agent. It was about now being on that other side and being able to go, look, here's how you really you want to build something of substance. This is what we do. And it starts at the identity level,
Mhm.
who you are. Doesn't matter. You can do everything else, and you will never succeed at the level you think you can if you do not understand the identity level of who you are.
100%. This is so true because, like, when it comes to mindset and so on, like, when it comes, like, your business is gonna grow only as far as you grow, because, like, it's all the time this consistent battle, your stuff, you yourself growing, and then, like, your business growing with you, because
Yeah.
it's not always it's never the other way, like the business grows and then you grow. No, 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 it's like all the other way. So I'm completely getting the point that you are saying. um because, like, I don't know what the industry is about, like how difficult, like how bad it is with the mindset, like how people are really struggling there. That would be like really interesting to actually hear what you can see from your perspective from being in that space. Um, what people are most struggling with, like with the mindset stuff, like what they are, for example, bringing from the corporate job, or like from, from the early programming, what they're
Yeah.
keeping them stuck. That would be great to actually observe too.
Yeah, well, yeah, and so I have 160 agents that I have kind of captive to work with right now, and
Uh-huh.
they are my laboratory, for lack of a better way to put it. So a lot of the things that I've worked on building this year, I'm working in real time with them right now to see, not just because I didn't believe it, but I want to really test the waters. I want to really push agents. And man, what
So you
we're
have
seeing is,
150 agents right now, and you started the company basic like this type of in this industry a year ago.
yeah, yeah.
Really good, really good.
So, you
Congrats.
know,
Like this is solid. This is really
it,
good.
well, it's just it's blessing is more than anything. I'll put
Yeah.
it that way, right? Because I get to test this stuff out in real time,
Yeah.
and because here's what's happening with a lot of the agents that I get to work with now. They're coming from other agencies as a producer. They're coming from
Hmm.
other businesses, and they literally walk in to start a business with an employee mindset and
Hmm.
a producer mindset. And so
Yep.
from day one, they aren't operating as a business owner. They're operating like they work for somebody. And so that's part of the problem is that they don't even see themselves. And that's why I mean it starts at an identity level, but it's even deeper than mindset. This is
Hmm.
where the journey was interesting last year because I've always, taught some mindset stuff, but it wasn't about that. In the journey for me, as I was trying to process my change and how do I get better? What do
Yep.
I need to do differently? Somehow I ended up in the space of understanding neuroplasticity and
Uh-huh.
how the brain is rewired, which is crazy stuff, right?
Yep.
And we could go deep here, so I'm going to try and keep it not too deep. But here's the thing: everybody who listens to this, you and I included, we've all tried New Year's resolutions. I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose weight this year. This is my year. I'm going to be at the gym every day and I'm going to eat healthy. And I'm right. How many people do you know that do that? And
Yeah.
then by February 14th, it's over, right? It's just done. They're not showing up to the gym, right? Every commercial at that point in their life is Taco Bell and Dunkin' Donuts until they finally just go, dude, I am going to get a dozen tacos and a dozen Dunkin' Donuts, and I don't give a rip what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
I'll do it next year, right? They just give up. And the problem is that we have taught over time to white knuckle it, just bear through it. You can do it.
Mhm.
That's not how we're wired. See, here's the problem. The brain, the amygdala portion of the brain, is not wired for success. It's wired for survival. Somewhere around day 36 to day 45 in your transformation journey, the amygdala kicks in and says, Adam, this isn't comfortable. This isn't safe. This isn't, go back, go back, go back to what you know is safe. Go back to what's comfortable. Go back because it's trying to survive. It doesn't like this new thing.
Yep.
It doesn't
Yep.
like it. And so your own biology begins to fight you in the transformation. What people
Hmm.
don't understand is at that point in time, when you hit day 45, you are 7 days away from having a complete new neural pathway regenerated in your brain, an entire
Very
new way of
interesting.
thinking. You're
Very
seven
cool.
days away and they give up.
Yep. Mhm.
That point in time in neuroscience is actually called the Valley of Despair, which is crazy that that's what it's called. And what happens is you start encountering resistance triggers.
Yep.
And those resistance triggers are what make you go back.
Very interesting.
So
Okay.
when I started to understand this, I started asking the question if and resistance triggers are driven by identity. Okay. Now, got to understand there are 27 identity profiles. So we started discovering what those identity profiles were. And we typically, there's three core ones. You have a dominant one and two subdominant ones
Uh-huh.
that are your drivers, right?
Hmm.
But your resistance triggers are literally tied to that identity. They show up in everybody in a different pattern. So the thought was, what if we could identify the resistance triggers, the people's
Hmm.
identity profile, to determine what their resistance triggers are so that we could actually coach them through speaking directly to their identity in that space. And then we took it a step further and said, what if we could build this into a 24/7 AI coach that someone could log into and talk to, and it would coach them directly to their identity profile through that point. Where
Interesting.
now they don't have
Yeah.
to be in a space where they're feeling vulnerable talking to someone they don't want to talk to, but they can have a place where they can just do that.
Hmm.
And so I started practicing this with agents in real time a year ago, because this was, for me, it was breakthrough, and for them it was. And so I took them through, like a challenge, like a lot of people do, because I didn't know how else to do it. I was like, I don't know. So I told them, pay me what you want. They each paid me like $500. And they went through this challenge. And at the end of it, I've got it recorded. The few agents that went, their exit strategy, they said, I know I didn't give 100% to this. I kind
Hmm.
of halfway did it. And here's the three things that completely changed in my life, and I am not the same person anymore. That's crazy.
Yeah. Very
And
cool.
now we're doing this in real time with agents over and over and over. And we're not working on prospect more, make more phone calls, make more dials. We're dealing with them at an identity level.
Yep.
Who you are, how you operate, what are your resistance triggers, so that you recognize them, so that when they come up, you know exactly what's happening and you can
Hmm.
navigate through them.
Navigate it through. Yeah, I love it. That's really cool. When it comes to, for example, I bring it to the point basically. Um, when it comes to me, when I'm, for example, dealing with something that is like very uncomfortable for me doing, and like that's never gonna go away. Like literally, it's always something that is like something new comes up. Like our brain is wired that way. Basically, we have the crocodile brain. We have like if you studied a brain, you understand. Especially if you are most of the most of the entrepreneurs should be really good at sales, because like that's the way that you're going to um raise money, right? So you have to understand those pieces to actually know who you are actually dealing with. So when it comes to like the crocodile brain, basically that's the piece of the brain that is literally shutting down everything down, right? Or if something new or something is like literally like feels like a danger, or something is boring, it's going to completely, like, you have to understand that. And so this is the way, like, what I believe, you have to have a really strong reason why to always, when something like that happen, like something that's going to, like, this is new, this is something uncomfortable, something, why are you really doing it? Are you doing it just because you want the money? Most of the time the money is not enough, right? Because like to be really like to live a blissful life, you don't need a bunch of money. Like you can, if you per, like, let's say if you're gonna make $20,000 per month, you're gonna live really really well, like great life.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be something real behind, something different. Like for me, it's literally like freedom. Like do whatever I want, do what I want. I don't have to listen to anybody who's going to tell me what I'm supposed to do or so on. Like, and also my family generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is for me, like this is the big pieces. And I believe that that's for you too, because you have 3 kids. You are already you are basically married 35 years, you said.
34 this summer, yeah.
34 years. That's insane. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. So, and when it comes to this whole thing, like, and what you do you use some of those patterns, for example, from what you studied for, helping people? Do you use those patterns, for example, or those studies to actually like help your kids even realize certain
Oh,
things,
oh
or
yeah.
or like prepare them for what is like what, or maybe they are, I don't know how old they are, because you said also that you are already a grandfather
Yeah.
also,
I've
right?
got I've got two
So
grandkids, man.
yeah, grandkids. So this is really interesting. Like I would love to see from your perspective, like, and being in the entrepreneurship, how did you actually like, have you implemented some stuff from your journey to your kids that actually like helping them in their life?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that I inadvertently imparted to my kids was they got to see my struggles firsthand. They
Yep.
got to see my journey firsthand. They got to see me, fail, but they also got to see me get back up over and over and over again. And consequently, both of my sons, they're doing amazing work in their own respective, industries. And they may be working for somebody, but they are internal entrepreneurs and they're taking these businesses to new levels because of that, right?
Yep.
And they'll call me from time to time, "Hey Dad, really struggling with this. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. What do I do?" And those for me are the greatest moments for me, is when they lean on me. My daughter, she's a pit bull, and she doesn't want help from anybody. She's going to
Yeah.
do it on her own.
Uh-huh.
But she went out and she got a scholarship to University of California, San Diego. She graduated with a degree in neuroscience, and then just this last year graduated as a nurse, and just began, and is on her track to become a nurse practitioner, all on her own. Like, "Mom, Dad, I don't want your help. I'm doing this." She lives out in DC, and when she drove to DC, I was like, "Do you want me to go with you?" And she's like, "Nope, I'm on a journey by myself." And so but they learned that, I think, part from me, that, we can either sit there and let life just deal what it wants to deal
Mhm.
us,
Yeah.
or we can get up and we can be the sons of God we're called to be, and we can begin to dictate how life is going to be for us. And that doesn't mean that we just command everything, but it means that there is a right and a level of authority that God's given us to walk in dominion in our health and our wealth and our relationships.
Yep.
And none of those three domains don't happen by accident. They happen because we intentionally begin to work those fields. And if we don't intentionally do it, then someone else will.
Yeah.
And if I could go back and do a lot of things different, I would. But now my kids are seeing me really implement that with them. I get to have great conversations with the boys who have, their own children, and talk
Yep.
to them about, this is your time to impart this to them. These are
Mhm.
the things I wish should have imparted to you, but now you get the chance to do that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so that's the beauty of life and the way God created it, is that there's enough grace to go around, that even when you screw up with your kids, He will still redeem that time with them.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. And just back to the topic that we've been talking before, prior that. Um, would you would you say that the reason why behind the thing, the accomplishment that you are trying to do, is a good way to deal with like uncomfortable situations and so on? Would you use that, or do you use that in your coaching or in your life even, or is that a better way that you would suggest to somebody to use?
Yeah, I think once I started understanding how the importance of your identity in the midst of this, your identity, to me, people get wrapped up in what they do as their identity instead of understanding who they are, right? Your why doesn't even matter until you understand who, right? You got to understand your who so that your why makes sense, so that your what gets executed,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So, but we tend to stop at why, and most people don't understand their who. So in other words, how do I operate?
Yeah.
How do I process the information that's coming into my business? What are the things that cause me to want to resist and to stop and to block me? Without that, your why can only motivate you so far. But
Hmm.
every one of us has resistance triggers. Every one of us. Some of us are better at navigating it than others, but your why will only take you so far.
Hmm.
But when you understand who you are and how you operate, that why becomes fuel.
Can you actually like train your is it even healthy to train yourself to operate certain way, or it should come up from you naturally?
No, because there's two things that happen with your natural side.
Yep.
One, your natural side is, and this happens all the time, especially in performance-based industries. We call it talent. So your
Uh-huh.
natural abilities, right? And
Yeah.
and people lean into their talent, and talent only takes you so far. But if your
Uh-huh.
character of who you are doesn't match it, it's not say it's not a good platform to stand on,
Yep.
right? The other side is that your if you try and just train yourself to do certain things, you could be training the wrong way, you can be training the wrong things. And if you don't understand how you are initially wired, you won't even train yourself the right way into the right patterns. Here's what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing it with not just one agent but multiples now. We start with their who they are, and we actually have an assessment they go through when they start with me, and it really identifies who they are, how they operate, and what one problem they solve. So they understand those core things, and then we begin to build systems and processes around it, right?
Around
But we
yep.
don't just stop there. We go all the way out. So my first round of agents that we started working with, we asked them what's your revenue goal for this year, and they all said, "Oh, I'd like to do $150,000."
Mm-hmm.
And I went, "Okay, so let me get this straight. You're going to run a business, pay staff, have rent, electricity, internet, all the stuff that goes with running a business, and pay yourself on $150,000 a year?" No. So your goal, your target is no longer 150,000. Your target's a half a million.
Yeah.
I can't do a half a million. No, you can. Because we're going to say in January, you're going to do half a million, and we're going to back our way into it, all the
Yep.
way backwards. And we're going to break it down into its. So on one end, we're identifying who they are, how they operate, and how they're going
Yep.
to resist. On the other end, we're identifying their actual destination point of where they're going to go, and then we build the roadmap in between.
Love it. This is
And
so clear. Yeah. Love it.
it is. And here's the thing. I have agents now that are 3 months in on this that are ahead of their $500,000 goal.
Let's go. Yeah. This is awesome.
I
Yeah.
had an agent call me
Yeah.
this morning. Literally, he called me and he goes, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go into a meeting with a big client." He said their premiums, he's going to present a premium increase of almost 200%. They went from like 70,000 to $200,000 this year on their business insurance. I'm like, don't go in and apologize. He goes, no, his brain is all in. He's done, we built marketing systems, all of that stuff. It's exciting. He'll do in this one sale that he's closing right now, he will double his income from last year just in this one sale.
Let's go. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. When it comes to what you working with them on that level, what you can see most of the time that preventing them from actually achieving the next level. What is the thing that stops most like those people to get into that level? Because like anyway, like I want to hear it from you, and then I'm bringing my perspective, what I can see, for example, from people that we are working.
Yeah.
So I want to see if we're gonna match it actually.
Yeah. Well, so I don't think it's any one thing. So my answer is probably going to be a little different. And here's why. When we take them through that assessment and we understand what their resistance triggers are,
Yep.
like the light bulb goes off in them. And
Yep.
what happens is they actually look back in their life and they go, I can see every time I stopped.
Yep.
Those were the things that stopped me.
Hmm.
They hear the voice in their head, they hear the thing playing out. But now in this assessment, they've called it out. They went, oh, I've identified what it is. So now when it comes up, the whole point of brainwashed to be broke, that's their brainwashing moment. That's
Yep.
that closed loop cycle that they play in their head that they don't ever get off of. And so consequently they keep doing this, patterns remain the same. But when we've created their identity from who they are, we don't manufacture it. They answer, it's a built assessment
Hmm.
that is working in the background to go, this is how you operate. And 100% of the agents I've worked with that have done it went, that's me.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they just go, that is 100% me.
So
They can
would you
read
say it's
everybody
like yeah,
else's.
would you say it's like consistency or something like that you can see like because of the brainwash like the way that I've been brainwashed like they are having struggles with like doing the amount so they can actually scale like get into the next level, or is it more like really like some like even though like if you think about it, it's most of the time is the sabotaging things like I'm not gonna do that because I'm because of something, and they trying to
Yeah.
push the responsibility on something else, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody else,
Yeah.
and this type of things, right? Because like if you have something that's working already, most of the time is good to stick with it and just do more of it. You know what I mean?
So
Like do more of like more quantity, more numbers, or so on. Just the
yeah,
thing that's already
it's not
working.
necessarily that. It's not
Okay.
even that. Let me explain why. Because
Okay.
everyone on here is going to go, whoa, whoa, we just do more. No, because that's called the grind,
Okay.
right? I just got to grind harder.
Yep.
We're not built to grind. That's not how we're really built to do
Mm-hmm.
this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me kind of back out 100,000 foot view and then I'll bring it down to something, okay? Do you know, and I'm curious of your answer, do you know the difference between principles and values?
Of course. 100%. Yep.
Okay, what are they?
So principles are basically things that never change, right? Like principles are still like they are solid. They stand still even though markets are going to basically change or anything gonna be changing because it's like they are standing on solid rock. So basically, I don't know. Let's say in a business, it's let's say for principle in business going to be, for example, to make money, basically to make business successful, you need to have a traffic, sales conversion process, and offer. Without those two three things, you're never going to make money because these are essential to build a business, right?
Right.
Values, are you thinking like when you're talking about values, um is it more like a strategies, do you mean, based on that? Like is it strategies or tactics, or what do you mean by value?
Yeah, well, so that's the interesting thing. So a lot of times people talk about I have these core values. These are my
Mm-hmm.
core values, right?
Yep.
So let me pull this up here. So you got part of it right, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not your answers are wrong. But let me kind of define it this way:
Mm-hmm.
principles are eternal. They're God
Yep.
made. They are
Yep.
immutable. They do not change. Right? You've
Yep.
got that part down. So we can see that in physical laws like gravity. Like you
Yep.
didn't wake up this morning and go, please God, let gravity work today.
100%.
Please let it
Yes.
work. It
Yes.
just does. Right?
Yep.
Values are man-made. They're based on experience and they change.
Get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If you wanted to go from New York City to Los Angeles on a journey, 150 years ago, that journey would take you months to get there in a wagon. And it was dangerous and there was no guarantees of getting there, right? And a lot of people didn't make it, but that's
Yep.
how you had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem. The laws of lift and aerodynamics and thrust, all of those laws existed. We just didn't know they existed. So consequently, we didn't value those principles. We never could use them. But when we
Mm-hmm.
begin to align our values to eternal principles, something miraculous happens, and that's called acceleration. We can actually
Ooh. Okay.
accelerate to where we're going to, right?
Yeah.
So now we have airplanes that can take us from New York to LA in hours, not in months,
Uh-huh.
right? So I may not understand how a plane fully flies and all of the science behind it. I just know it does.
Yep.
But my values need to align to that. My values then, therefore, need to be airplane maintenance. I value airplane maintenance because if I don't maintain that plane's going to fly until it doesn't. And
Mm-hmm.
most entrepreneurs their values are violating eternal principles. And so they
Mm-hmm.
constantly crash and burn.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. This is
Do you
really
see what I'm
powerful.
saying?
Yes.
And and then it goes a step further into
Uh-huh.
what we call the diligence principle. So let me
Uh-huh.
pull this because I want to read it exactly as it is.
Yeah, you go ahead. Um, this is powerful. I haven't heard the analogies like principle versus values. Usually like people are trying to explain like when it comes to principles, they're trying to like principles are the solid foundation, basically never gonna change. It's always the same. Like if anything gonna change in marketplace, that's exactly what like it's gonna stay the same. And
Right.
like most of the people and most of the successful business owners, they are building their businesses based on principles, right? They are building coaching based on the principles because never change. So it doesn't matter if market, for example, if AI comes up or whatever comes up, the principle is gonna stay the same. For example,
Yep.
like human psychology stay the same. Humans not gonna change, like because we
Yep.
are. This is the way that we operate, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
and then they are going down by explaining like strategies and tactics. Strategies change all the time. Tactics change even more, right?
Yep.
And so on. So they are like this is in the type of like I don't know how to even put it like like how to put it into the words. So like what that could be like the I mean like the angle of talking about it, but this is a little bit different. You're talking about the values that actually like like what human holds, and so like it's really, yeah, it's really interesting. So have you found it?
Yeah, yeah, I've
Okay,
got
go
it.
ahead, go ahead.
So,
Okay.
well, the reason why that this is important, and I just want to read it exactly as we
Yeah.
have it, because all of those things you said are partially true. And
Uh-huh.
that's the problem, right? They're partially true, but if you don't understand principles and values and how to align to those,
Mm-hmm.
then you cannot accelerate and do greater than you've ever done before.
Yep.
And that's part of it, is that if you don't even understand how you're operating, how those resistance triggers come up so that you can begin to realign yourself, because almost every entrepreneur's failure, mine included, is an alignment issue, nothing more, nothing less, right? So here's the principle that drives then, once you start to align, here's the principle. It's called diligence.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, diligence is not what you think. Here's the definition.
Mm-hmm.
Diligence is a learnable. You still there?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just
Okay.
it's fine. It froze
Okay.
the screen, but I think it's anyway. It's gonna record you normally.
Okay. Diligence is, well, like, you disappeared on my side. So diligence is a learnable skill that combines creative persistence, a smart working effort, rightly planned and rightly performed in a timely, efficient, and effective manner.
Mm-hmm.
That is diligence.
Uh-huh.
And what diligence does is it actually builds your operating framework. So what we do is we take agents, we figure out who they are and how they operate, what their resistance triggers are. And by the way, we can do this in any industry. It's not agent centric. We can do it anywhere. Like that's why I've been building this, because this can work in anything. But we figure out who they are, how they operate, where their resistance triggers are, where they want to go, their New York to LA, and then we start helping them align the principles that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So with simple things like the difference between goals and desires.
Yep.
Most people don't understand that. So here's the difference. So a goal is something that you alone control, you alone can accomplish. But a desire is something that is outside of your control and requires other people to help you accomplish it.
That's good.
Right?
Love it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But most people get those confused, right? So if you're
Yep.
getting that basic thing down, confused, then you're going to be getting values and principles confused, and you're out of alignment, and consequently, you're not leveraging the very powerful things that were created for us to accelerate in our
Yeah.
wealth and in our health and in our relationships. And so that's how we reverse engineer it. And that's where we're seeing agents go, man, I'm going to do the 150,000 in my first 3 months, not in 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
If I can do that, I can do, like, their brain starts expanding. And then we teach very, very simply, progress, not perfection. So we build their execution. They reach a milestone. We evaluate, we adjust, and we go again. Evaluate, adjust. So it's always progress, not perfection. So instead of chasing that perfect business, they're chasing progress in the business.
Yeah. Yeah. So powerful. Very cool. Like, tell me now, like, what is the thing that drives you so much? Because I see that you are so passionate about this, like so much. This is like something that you probably love studying, love doing, love helping people
Yeah,
with. So what is the real reason behind the things that you do? Like, what is it?
yeah. So it's simply this: my failures are now my success. It's not just the lessons I learned in failures, but had I not gone through those failure moments, I wouldn't understand the real science behind transformation, right? So as believers, we know that Romans 12 says, "Do not be conformed anymore to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." I went, how does that work? Like, I can read the verse and I can think it's all nice and feel good. No, there's a real science to it. And then when I started to understand it, I went, holy cow, like this is how we were designed and created. And so I got very passionate about it because it moves beyond business. It moves into really, especially in men and men in business, right? So my son said something to me one day. He was going to become a paramedic, and then he went into advertising, right? Change.
That's a big shit, big
Yeah,
difference, like a
yeah.
big
He
change,
loves it
totally.
though. He loves
Yeah.
it. But do you realize that the body holds about 5 liters of blood, and you can bleed 4.5 liters into your pelvic cavity before anybody even knows you're bleeding out. And by the time they discover it, it's too late. And what I discovered is that there are really kind of 7 fractures that men have specifically in their life. They're bleeding internally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, in their health, their wealth, and their relationships. Men get to about age 40 and they're like, there's got to be more in life than this.
Yeah.
There's just these things. And it's because there is this silent bleed going on inside of them, and they have no idea how to become who they were actually created to become. And I don't want to sit here and try and tell anyone that I have become the person that I want to be, but I have a plan and I have a strategy. I've got a sheet of paper over here that's got my annual vision written out on it. But it's my destination vision. It's not just some pie in the sky. It is literally, it's got revenue, it's got relationship, it's got health issues, that all of these things. And I have a plan that I'm working every day, little by little. I'm not worried about the end result. I'm worried about what am I doing today. And then I work it and adjust, work it and adjust. So I became passionate because I started realizing that this wasn't just like a me thing. This is every guy I talk to, every man I talk to, every one of them. They feel that same weight of, man, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be something else. Please tell me there's something else. I mean, guys that they want to just quit and give up, and they hate their jobs, they hate their marriage, their kids hate them, their health is in the toilet. I mean, this is the reality, and this has become my platform. For me, I get to live it out with insurance agents right now because it's a microcosm, and I get to play and see, how it works. But the bigger picture is, how can I help that man next door? You imagine in churches, if men started to operate at this level, what would churches look like? It would change drastically.
Yeah.
Families would change overnight. Like there would just be a difference because there would be a real plan, like a literal plan that they can walk out. And therefore, it doesn't matter what entrepreneurial endeavor you go out, because now I have a framework to build a diligent plan to get there.
Yeah. Love it. Well, what are you working on these days? Like, what is the main thing that you are focusing on now, like growing, or what is the plan to the future for you?
So currently, I'm literally in the midst of coaching. I'm building 5 vertical businesses right now on top of what I do. So I'm busy all the time, right? And I've I'm not an AI expert, but I'm also not a dabbler. I've really kind of gotten in there, and so Forged Leaders is the end game of a lot of this, where we will just be coaching men universally, running small groups, and we want to have we're working on building what we call a ground zero event. It'd be a 7-day event that men would come to, and it would be a pretty intense challenge. Yeah,
In person.
Yeah, but it would be beyond just like coming to a conference at a hotel. It's going to be someplace where it's an experience, where there's challenges that they have to do, and they have to work in cohorts and all kinds of stuff. Like really, some next level stuff that we take them through that. So there's that piece I'm building out, and I've got some men that have come alongside and are helping to kind of build some of those pieces out. Then on the insurance side of things, we've been building. I've been building a system that we call the Agent's OS. So the agent's operating system. So an agent would come in and they'll go through the assessment that we've been doing, but now digitally. It'll assess them. It's got integrated AI so that most insurance and most sales are done from lagging indicators. So we have to wait for data to come in so that we can make corrections. but by then you're 2, 3 months behind, and now you're chasing your tail trying to catch up.
Yeah.
This entire system coaches from leading indicators. It can actually start to determine where you're starting to drop off and
Mhm.
where your resistance triggers are. And it can do it at the individual level, even at an enterprise scale.
Very
So
cool.
now leadership can have real-time coaching. The AI will actually coach directly to that agent inside there. Hey, it looks like you're dropping off here. Here's your tendency and pattern. Here's 3 things you can do right now to kind of get you back on track. I don't have years and years and years to be able to prove this out.
Yep.
So I used what's called Monte Carlo simulation modeling. Are you
Hmm.
familiar with that?
No, no, never heard of that.
So Monte Carlo simulations are what NASA uses to put people on the moon and
Hmm.
what casinos use to make sure that they never lose money. And it
Right.
is literally millions of calculations with every conceivable variable so that they can eliminate every failure pattern and understand the probability and predictability of where they're going to land.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I modeled using this system and the framework that I built, modeled it with 27 million Monte Carlo simulation runs. And I told the system to throw everything at it. Like I wanted it to break. I needed to know the breaking point.
Very
Here's
cool.
what we came to. We had to make an assumption, a success assumption to begin with. And so we started high. We said, let's assume that 30% of people succeed at whatever goal they set.
Hmm.
That's the average. It's really less than that, but we're going to throw it at 30%. When we walk them through this process and we put these things in place, what are the outcomes? And it ran it and ran it and ran it. Here's what we found. We were able to take people from 30% success to 80% success
Let's
27
go.
million times.
That's very cool. Holy smokes.
That's game changing.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. I love seeing that you as an individual basically evolving your business into like with AI and so on because like lots of people are actually like hesitant about using like AI in certain ways and so on like because like in my opinion AI is going to like AI is here is not going anywhere. Business is gonna be basically those that don't use AI gonna literally get completely like
Yeah,
they're gonna disappear. Like
yeah,
it's gone. If
yeah,
you're not gonna use AI because like in my opinion ads and marketing and everything's gonna start being more and more expensive because the things like repetitive tasks in huge corporations, people gonna lose jobs because of AI. And what they
yeah,
gonna do, the companies, what are they gonna do with the money, what they save? In my opinion, they're gonna push it back to advertisement and push into marketing to get
yep,
more eyeballs and more people in, more
yep,
customers, right? So what's gonna happen? Everything like advertisement, everything's gonna increase, like the cost is gonna increase. So it's gonna be harder and harder for smaller business owners and so on to actually be
yep,
profitable, right? And so on. So you have to really keep going with the flow. What is going on right now? You have to start adapting your businesses. And even though like it's a really great opportunity for people who are starting out, like with AI, like you have so much on your literally tip of a finger, so you can create so many things that we have never ever been even able to do for like
no,
I'm 7 years in a business and literally the whole 7 years I've been doing everything manually, right? And then like 2 years in here with AI, it's like holy smokes, it's completely different. This is like
yeah,
so fast, everything like of course you have to still manage it, right? But like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
doing great job actually like when it comes to if you know how to talk to it, right?
Well,
So I'm
yeah,
really
if you know how to
loving.
use
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
game changer, right? And
Right.
there is a specific way to talk to it. And I had to learn, the last year's been a master class on how to use AI, but now
Yeah.
it's like I can build. So one of the verticals that I'm putting the finishing touches on a couple things, and it's going to be a challenge based vertical,
Uh-huh.
but it's going to be a like a business incubator.
Uh-huh.
So not just for me, but so let me back up and put some frameworks. You're going to hear me talk a lot about 52 days, right?
Uh-huh.
Or 52. 52 is a big number for me
Hmm.
in what I did in the frameworks. There's 7 52-day cycles in a year. It takes 52 days to completely rewire the brain. None
Right.
of that's
Mhm.
coincidence, right? So that's kind of almost become a marketing thing for me as well, right? So the first iteration, the first challenge in this is going to be from zero to launch in 52 hours for $52.
Mm,
So you could come in and start with us at $52,
yep.
and it will discover the problem that you, because it doesn't say, hey, do you have a great idea? It goes, no, let's find a problem to solve.
Yep.
So it starts at the problem level. So you find a problem, then it takes you to the offer genesis and it creates your offer. And then it takes you to the validation. Is this something the market would even want to see, all the way into your launch? Now you're driving traffic. And we're not a marketing agency. I just want to run it to go, okay, can I take someone from zero to launch in a business in 52 hours and
Mm-hmm.
have all the framework ready to go? Then the next part, we've added some components to that. AI, it's all AI. So no one has to run it. They just run through the AI models that we built.
Yeah.
The next part of the challenge now is, okay, you're ready to launch. Now we're going to go from launch to 10K in 52 days. And the goal is now that their business makes $10,000 in the next 52 days. And then when they hit that, then we go, okay, we're going to take you to the pro level. We're actually going to make this a real business. You're going to go from 10,000 to 100,000 in the next 104 days. And we've roadmapped it. Here's what you do, step by step, by piece by piece.
Love it. Love it.
So anybody coming in, the mom that's looking for a side hustle, the dad that's trying to make some ends meet, can start and go, I can put $52 a month into this, and I can build a business, and then they can scale it.
Very
And I
cool.
go, wouldn't that
So,
be?
so then the question is where people can find you, where they can start.
Yeah, good, great question. So that vertical is going to sit on businessresiliencelab.com. So that will go live here in the next week or so, and they can join. And we got a community, and the whole bit. They can get in. I'm excited about it. That was because of AI. That was something that came up this last weekend, and I just started exploring something. And from Saturday afternoon to Sunday night, I built the entire thing using AI.
Very cool. Love it. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. It was a pleasure to have you here. It was a great conversation. I have like three rapid fire questions that I'm asking everybody who is on the
Okay.
show. So the first one would be, um, what's the one book that you would recommend somebody who's starting a business or like in the starting mode, that would help them to actually see the world from different perspective and how to even start a business, and if it's even a good way to start a business.
Yeah. If your business doesn't solve a problem, you don't have a business. So figure out what problem you solve. If you can't figure that out, you need to figure that out first.
Hmm.
Everything else comes after that.
Do you have
So
some?
businesses,
Do you have a book that you would recommend to read, for example, somebody like one of the best that you've read?
well, my favorite book that has become like my besides the Bible, my business Bible is by author Stephen K. Scott, The Richest Man Who Ever Lived.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Very
And
cool.
it's all about about King Solomon.
Yep, 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 yeah. All right, second question is, if you could delete one piece of advice from the internet forever, what would you delete?
One piece of advice from the internet, of
That
my
doesn't
advice.
serve at all. Like literally, it's like, yeah, some advice that is completely dumb on the internet and people are
Oh,
believing it.
yeah, I think I would. I think I would challenge and wipe away the whole concept of um, you just need mindset. No, you need transformation. If
Mm,
you're not if you're not transforming the way you think, mindset won't fix it.
yep, yep, yeah. And the last one would be, if this would be your last interview you've ever done, what would be the message that you would like to leave behind you?
Take risks. Like nothing in this life is going to last forever. So take risks. You will stay where you are if you just choose mediocrity. But don't, I think I read one time, uh, um, the book was actually called The Enemy Called Average. And, I just love that mindset of, your greatest enemy is deciding to be average.
So true. Love it. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you, Rob. Amazing, amazing conversation. So, and for everybody who's listening, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Hey, thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. It was so much fun.
Thank you.